Kazakhstan, Latvia.
Kazakhstan.
Hello.
Yo. Kazakhstan!
Kazakhstan. Kazakhstan. Kazakhstan.
The game officials for these games have been licensed assigned by the International Ice Hockey Federation. The referees are from the
Lassi Heikkinen of Finland, Stefan Herleman of Switzerland are the referees for this game tonight between Canada and Kazakhstan on day 6 of the 2023 World Hockey Championship. Andre Tournier's team comes in at 3-0 after a 2-1 shootout win over Slovakia on Monday. Head coach of the Arizona Coyotes of the NHL. Galamentalev is the head coach of Team Kazakhstan. Alexei Skabelka was supposed to be the head coach, but he's Belarusian, was denied an entry visa into Latvia. So Mamataliev, a longtime assistant coach in Kazakhstan, is the head coach behind the bench for a team that is 1-2. They won their opener in a shootout against Norway. Coming back from 2-0 and 3-1 down. Like a number of these players, Nikita Mihalis plays for Barrage Astana in the KHL. Kazakh team remains in that league. And starting a goal for Canada is the 22-year-old from Winnipeg, Joel Hofer, makes his tournament debut. He won a gold medal with Canada at the 2020 World Junior Championship, where he was named the top goaltender at .946 save percentage that year for Canada. And Nikita Boyarkin, who was the goaltender for Barrage Astana for much of the year in the KHL, his only appearance was in relief against Switzerland in the third period of that 5-0 loss. He came in with about 10 minutes to go. Canada 3-0 all time against Kazakhstan. The last meeting last year, Canada won 6-3.
Good, keep the sticks on the ice, please.
Joe Veleno wins that face-off back, starts along with Milan Lucic and Sammy Blais for Canada. It was a wild game on Monday for Canada against Slovakia. Shootouts have not been a Canadian specialty at the World Championship. As Blais throws that back, Mackenzie Weegar shoots, scores! 19 seconds in, Mackenzie Weegar drifts it by Boyarkin, and it's 1-0.
Wow, what a start for Canada. Mackenzie Weegar's incredible offensive tournament continues. Tremendous forecheck here. Veleno beats everyone to the puck, keeps it loose. Blais hits the seam to Weegar right away, and he walks in. This wrister has been very effective in the game. Gets it past Starchenko, and right over the shoulder of Boyarkin. Hope you're ready to come, because look at this. Zip it. And that line, Veleno, Lucic, and Blais has been together every game.
Yeah. They
start a lot of periods. Clearly, Andre Tournier likes what he sees from that line. Breakout from their own end, all the way to a simple dump-in forecheck. Exactly how you draw it up for a coach. You just don't expect that goal to go in, but they'll take it.
And you've talked about this before, Mike. One of the advantages of coming to the World Championship is you get to play different roles with different teammates. And Veleno gets a lot of responsibility down the middle for Canada. Rehov shoots and Hofer punches that away. Hofer spent most of this year with Springfield in the American Hockey League. Got a handful of games in with the St. Louis Blues, including one against his hometown Winnipeg Jets in St. Louis, where he had to leave the game for under a minute for an equipment issue. They posted a shutout that game. It doesn't go on his record as a shutout. It's a shared shutout. Bouncing puck in front, bounced away from Jack Quinn. But he's been Bear with a shot. That went just high.
Heavy wrister from Bear, crossbody.
And finally, Boyarkin pounces on that. Just to finish the thought, Canada's shootout win against Slovakia, just their 4th in 12 all-time shootouts at the World Championship.
Surprising. Mackenzie Weegar got 7 points now for Canada, and that is a really good look by Sammy Blais. Picking off the boards clean, throw a nice flat sauce out there to the now tournament-leading scorer, Mackenzie Weegar. Don't think this tournament's ever had a defenseman lead it in scoring. We'll get our stats department on that.
And Florian Shakishvili has scored in the first minute for France. They're up 1-0 on Finland.
Finland's had a raggedy start to this tournament so far.
And France has been not bad. They're in the top 4 right now on that side.
France has been giving people trouble. And they're in the top 4 having lost to Hungary, of all teams. This is a topsy-turvy tournament this year.
Arjan has it taken away by Cody Glass. And Pierre-Olivier Joseph takes that away and swings back with it. Joseph has a goal against Slovenia in this tournament. Bumped ahead by Peyton Krebs. Has a look in front for Toffoli. Krebs pivots back. And racing back was Justin Barron to take that away. Lead pass to Glass. Drops it off for Toffoli. Walks it and shoots. Boyarkin punches that away.
Interesting to note, as we get into the third, fourth, fifth game, the line starts settling in because we're coming towards the end of it. And they've made an adjustment on that Glass and Krebs line. They took Krause off it, put Toffoli onto it. Lawson Krause going back up with Watt and Quinn. So trying to find the right mixture still. There's Andre Tourigny.
Canada had one pre-tournament game in Budapest, Hungary. As Valeno winds in, this line goes back to work. Valeno peels back. Jake Middleton shoots up high. Boyarkin the save with Lucic standing in front.
Or Deniar trying to move Lucic out of the way. Good luck with that.
Trying to push a car out of the way.
And Boyarkin's a big guy. He can kind of stand up and see over top of Milan Lucic.
He was really good, Boyarkin was 2 years ago at the World Championship here when Kazakhstan contended for a quarterfinal spot. They beat Latvia and Finland in shootouts, but they lost to Norway. That really hurt them. And Kazakhstan, we're talking about a shootout win over Norway in the opener as Blay works in. They've won 4 straight shootouts at the World Championship. Starchenko.
That's the reason they won the last one. He scored both goals, the captain.
Yeah.
And Starchenko.
Carcone got a stick on that. The puck goes into the Canadian bench.
And I think it's important for, and I'm sure it was articulated from the coaching staff for Canada, that the first week of this tournament, which we are sort of in the middle of, is like the training camp. They're experimenting with combinations, with system play, special teams, all those things. Adam Fantilli has found himself on 5 different lines. He's played center, he's played wing, he's on the power play. He's the 13th forward tonight. It's all just kind of trying to find stuff that works, and then kind of heading into this weekend, into next week, that's when you're not going to see the kind of changes we're seeing game over game.
The preliminary round wraps up next Tuesday. The quarterfinals are on Thursday. Semis on Saturday. The bronze and gold medal games the following Sunday, the day after. Top 4 teams in each 8-team group advance to the quarters. It's a crossover format. However, there are a couple of wrinkles to that, and one of them may come into play with Finland struggling in Group A. If the Finns are 3rd or 4th in their group, they still play at home in Tampere. Big hit by McBain.
I think McBain hurt himself there.
McBain making his way off slowly. Mihalis works in on Hunt, pivots back, drops it back, and Polahov can get a shot away. Here's Polahov with it. Tied up by Hunt. Takes him down. Now Carcone moves up. Canada's got 3 wide. Carcone drops. Adam Fantilli in, shoots, fires that wide. Back at the point. And Ethan Bear hacked that back down to the Kazakh zone.
Jack McBain's feeling, I think he caught his own face onto the shoulder. Kazakhstan player that he was hitting. And he's still laboring on the bench.
Lawson Krause picked that up. Scored in Canada's opening game win against Latvia, 6-0 win over the host team, which earlier today, white-knuckled another win, 2-1 over Norway after an emotional overtime win over Czechia in their last game. So the Latvians are in the mix for a quarterfinal spot. Quinn for Middleton, back across to Uyghur. Takes it off the sideboard, centers it, that was tipped wide by Lawton. Scott Lawton makes his way up, Quinn back in front, Uyghur looks there, tap in, score! Lawson Krause with maybe the easiest goal he'll ever score.
Courtesy of Mackenzie Uyghur. Padding the stats already, 2 more points for Uyghur, and Krause easily taps that one home. And Uyghur activates for the blue line on in, stays involved after going all the way behind the net. Jack Quinn with strong play, shoulder check, wheels it on down, and Uyghur at this point is going to pass it no matter what. Just can he find Asim Tukolyov, and he absolutely does. Patience and no mistaking for a loss. And Kraus strong on his stick, and 2-0 Canada early, which has been a good sign for Canada, as they had a very slow start against Slovenia 2 games ago.
They trailed 1-0 after 1 in that game.
And were better, but not great against Slovakia the first period of that game. So looking to jump out to a more appropriate first period. They're off to a good start so far.
Weaker a goal and assist in the first 5 minutes and 5 seconds of this game. Now Barron winds around and lifted that high. Justin Barron didn't play in the last 2 periods or overtime of that game against the Slovaks.
7th defenseman. They still have room for 1 more player, I think, in Canada. So 2 more players.
There are 20 skaters on the 22 right now. Hunt shoots. That's gloved by Boyarkin. It's a delicate balance for Canadian teams. It's not like European teams where guys are coming over to come home anyway.
Right.
You're asking someone to come all the way over here at the start of it and then potentially bumping them out of a spot. And in recent years, Canada's elected not to do that. 1 year ago, a couple years ago, Brayden Shen gave up his spot.
Yeah, I mean, I was on the last team where that kind of happened. It was 20 years ago, but I was on the last Canadian team where they brought over a whole bunch of guys and bumped guys who'd been in Russia for 3 weeks. And guys, Brendan Morrison didn't get to play in the quarterfinals. And it did not sit well with, nothing against the guys who came, but, you know, if you make the commitment to go, so Hockey Canada stopped that practice. They don't really do that unless it's a minor league player or perhaps a European pro. NHL guys, you start playing, you finish playing.
Blade drops it back. Lucic shoots. That's deflected away. Lucic scored his first goal in a Canadian uniform against Slovenia and was beaming.
Looks like he's enjoying himself over here.
Making his Canadian national team debut at the age of 34.
I like the fact that it's just so rare. I mean, not that Milan Lucic is unusual that he would be intimidating to play against, but, you know, in the NHL, everyone plays each other hard, even if you can't fight Milan Lucic. But over here, his presence,
his reputation
earns him a little bit extra.
Well, we've seen it.
He goes into a pile and everything just stops. No one wants any part of scrumming it up with him.
Neighbors pokes at it to Ventilli. In comes Adam Fantilli, 2 assists so far in the tournament. Fantilli centers it there for McBain. Jack McBain looks back in front for Fantilli. Here's Middleton with it. Jake Middleton banks that down to Neighbors. McBain came in and just missed Polahoff with that hit. And then Fantilli forced it free. Picks up the loose puck in the slot, walks it and shoots. Boyarkin the save.
Polahoff is struggling.
Neighbors fires. Stop made by Boyarkin. Middleton. Back across to Uyghur, who holds the line. In for Middleton, who was in deep down. Middleton chips it back down to McBain. McBain plays it off the back of the goal to Fantilli. Canada in the midst of a change. Fantilli shoots from a sharp angle. Boyarkin makes the save. Loose puck in front. McBain couldn't reach it. Barrett drops it back to Neighbors. Rips that back down, and the remaining forwards make their way off the ice. Lawton picks up the loose puck, drops it back to Kraus with a shot, scores! Lawson Kraus has 2 in 3 minutes, and it's 3-0 Canada.
Lawson Kraus gets lost coming off the bench, and it's a long, extended offensive zone shift. Everyone's fouled. Justin Barron does a great job jumping down, keeping it alive, and that allows Kraus, who's just coming over the blue line, to pick up a puck from Scott Lawton in full flight and really have a chance to lean on this one underneath Boyarkin. Catch it, settle it, and then just put it right by the right foot, powering it through Boyarkin. And the idea tonight would have been to have Boyarkin see this game all the way through. Shutov, the backup, has started the previous games and probably wanted a break. 3 and 8 minutes. You wonder if he's going to be able to get the whole game off.
Kraus of the Arizona Coyotes, along with Carcone, McBain, and head coach Andre Tournier, watching developments back in their backyard. A referendum last night failed for new arena for the Coyotes, which leaves their future in doubt. Shane Doan, a member of the Canadian management team, is here as well.
And I'm sure they were all going to Shane. Like, what's going on? It's their future. It's where they're going to live and play and work.
Ethan Bear plays it across to Krebs. Back for Bear. Feeds that down. Tipped on goal by Lawton. And Boyarkin makes the stop. 11:28 to go in the first period. Canada already has a 3-0 lead. Uyghur, the 29-year-old from Nepean, Ontario, is having himself a tournament.
Yeah, and you know what? Having a #1 defenseman is pivotal for Canada. They may not have a superstar forward, but they have a top-flight defenseman in Mackenzie Uyghur to anchor their back end.
Cody Glass to get into that icing call. Picked out by Toffoli. Bumped back in by Krebs. Went back down to trying to get Hunback. Place with Nomad Astana in the Kazakh league. So there's a KHL team in Astana. Barrage is also a team in the Kazakh league. And interestingly enough, last year in this tournament, Kazakhstan had 5 North American and 1 Swedish player who had gained citizenship in Kazakhstan by playing in their league for a long time on their national team. There were complaints to the national governing body about it, and they were all dropped this year. These are all Kazakh players this year.
Maybe some short-term pain for long-term gain.
America
the players of experience.
Bekateev moves in, scores! Bouncing off Hofer. Kazakhstan's on the board.
Bekateev will take it. His first of the tournament. And it's just a simple-looking rush. Pushed to the outside by Ethan Bear. Nothing going on here, and Hofer just loses his net. Right skate, not anchored to the post, gets behind it, opens up gaps off the knee, and does not seal the posts. Tough one for Hofer, just a second shot. See how his right skate gets below the goal.
Last year, Kazakhstan kind of rattled Canada in that game, wound up 6-3. Here's Hunt with it. As I mentioned, Kazakhstan has never beaten Canada at the World Championship. There is an infamous win for Kazakhstan against Canada at the World Junior Championship in 1998 in Helsinki, Finland. The game was actually played up in Hämeenlinna. That pass across. Fantilli with a shot kicked up by Boyarkin.
Fantilli's had about 5 different shots tonight. He's buzzing around.
It was in a 7th place game in 98. Kazakhstan beat Canada 6-3.
Teammate Nick Antropov, quarterback in the attack. That was, as a playing for 7th is not what Canada gets up for. Clearly.
No. Especially if you just lost under that format. If you lost the 5th place game, you had to go down and play in the 8th place game. Or the 7th place game, rather. Fantilli winds in. Picked up by Krause. Drops it back to Pierre-Olivier Joseph. Joseph swings it back to Quinn. Shoots short side. Not great by Boyarkin. Better chance for Myers. That's knocked away. Lifted up. Brought back in by Quinn.
Oh, yeah.
Quinn, backhand shot. Ooh, that was nifty.
Nicely done.
Boyarkin makes a stop on that. 3-1 Canada leads. 8:50 to go in the first period. of the World Hockey Championship. Finland has tied it up against France, 1-1 in the first period. Finns gold medalist last year in the overtime win against Canada. The controversial finish to that one.
That was a wild game. And really, all you have to do is get to the quarterfinals, and it's, you know, who can run off 3 good games in a row. It feels like this year there's about 6 or 7 teams that could do that.
Steal by Lawton. Slides that down to Foley. Looks back and up for Lawton. That was knocked away by Korolyov. And Uyghur plays it back in. Krebs digs that free, slides it back to Uyghur. Back across to Middleton. This pass bounces back in front of Glass. Cody Glass trying to wind in. Korolyov has it back, lifts it in the air. And that'll skip wide. Icing called against Kazakhstan.
So we put our research department on it. As Bekateev is the defenseman who scored a goal for Kazakhstan. Right now, Mackenzie Weegar has 8 points scored.
Yes.
The Canadian record for points by a defenseman is Billy Daw from 1950, had 14 points.
Okay.
Playing for the Edmonton Mercuries, who represented for Canada. In the 5 games only, they outscored the opposition 42-3. And he was in on a third of those goals for 14 points. So that's who he's trying to track down. He's more than halfway there.
Back when club teams used to represent Canada at the World Championships, some great names. The Whitby Dunlops, the Edmonton Waterloo Mercuries, the Trail Smoke Eaters, the Guelph Biltmores.
Heard about half of those.
Harry Sinden, longtime GM and head coach of Team Canada. The Summit Series in '72 was the captain of the Whitby Dunlops who won the World Championship. Joe Valeno pokes at that. Bouncing back in front, Bear has it. Across he goes. Blade chips it up. Away comes Milan Lucic along with Valeno. Lucic works in, throws it back in front. Picked up now by Blay. Sammy Blay drops that back, and the shot flutters high from Barrett. Then Mohamed Karjan works in. Puck still skates and rolls it down to Hofer, who hangs on to that.
Karjan is a 1-on-2. And Justin Barron going, they call it surfing, all pressing. He's trying to come over and play him, leaving the 1-on-1 to Joseph, adding the second level. Karjan does a pretty good job getting all the way through. As Karjan just 19 years old.
Yeah, they're trying to, you know, obviously with those North Americans out, they've got some younger players being inserted in. Carcone works in along with McBain. Carcone puts it across, and McBain missed on that. Kazakhstan actually bidding to host the 2027 World Championship, and the hosting rights to that tournament will be awarded at the IIHF Congress the day after the gold medal game here. It's down to Kazakhstan and the German bid of Mannheim and Dusseldorf. Renovate Joseph feeds that down to Carcone. Carcone slides that back. Neighbors centered it, and McBain couldn't reach it.
Neighbors could have maybe wrapped that one in. He had Boyarkin on the wrong post.
The Kazakhstan bid meets all the technical requirements for the IIHF. That centering pass missed Mihalis. Orehovit, he shoots it, got through the Hofer, and he'll hang on to that. 5 ready to go here in the first period. Canada leads 3-1. United States beat Austria earlier today. The Americans are 4-0 with the World Championship. Canada will get to follow suit. Canada's latest win, though, in a shootout against Slovakia, a 2-point win as opposed to 3. Fantilli works his way. It's amazing how often that figures into the standings and alters the course of tournaments. Great flip there by Quinn. Works in, Quinn with a trailer. Uyghur walks right in, fires at the goalpost. At the inside of the crossbar, drops straight down.
I mean, at this point, I expect him to score every time he shoots it. That would have been for his 3rd point and 2nd goal of the first period. Mackenzie Uyghur. And it's an innocent-looking wrister. He doesn't really load it up, except the goaltenders have a hard time stopping it.
Now the bouncing puck goes to Krebs. Move that back to the Foley. Now a race for it. Rachmanov gets in on a breakaway. Rachmanov turned away by Hofer, fanned on it. And now glove down by Krebs, back the other way, along with the Foley. Krebs gains a step. Back in the slot, Rachmanov breaks that up. There after it. Long shot. By Berkov with the skate of Brad Hunt, making his international debut for Canada at the age of 34. Milano centers it. Blaine reaches for it. Bouncing puck away from Lucic. Rusarov brings it back up for Kazakhstan. Comes jumping in. That trickles down. Hofer makes the save on that. And is able to hang on.
So it appears been completely dominated by Canada yet. Rachmanov gets a spun on a breakaway. He's so worried about skating fast, he forgets about shooting the puck. Head up, and he gets one right off the heel of the stick. He just goes right over top of it. Hofer has to turn it aside. And this is the other one for Mackenzie Uyghur. He's head up the whole time. It's a quick pick. It's not even like a really... He's not shooting it as hard as he can. He's placing it right where he wants it. He's erring on the side of accuracy over velocity.
Bekateev, who has the Kazakh goal, shot that. Gloved by Hofer.
You forget Mackenzie Uyghur was a really good offensive defenseman in Florida. This past year in Calgary, 31 points, which is good. Just 4 goals after years of doing a bit better than that in Florida.
7th round pick of Florida back in 2013, coming off a Memorial Cup win with the Halifax Mooseheads. Had to go to Quebec because he couldn't find a junior team in Ontario that wanted him. And he's worked his way through the ranks and
signed a nice, big, deserved contract last summer.
Rink wide, Carcone takes that pass. Joseph jumping in, Carcone shoots, American save! Drops right down to McBain, he jams at it.
It's almost like the goalie went off Stuart Skinner the other night.
Yeah.
The shoulder and up and over.
.245 to go in the first period. Hamatov lost the puck to Lawton. Up for Fantilli. Ooh, this nifty move there by Fantilli around the Rayhawk. Pivots back. And slid that puck across to Lawton. He looks back to Middleton, who had jumped up, but Muratov has it back. Muratov takes that return pass along the boards. Muratov throws that back to Mihalis. He shoots and deflects back down to the goal mouth. Middleton knocks it away. It's bunted down by Uyghur. Muratov to Polahov. Offset back, Muratov. Bump back and able to continue. As Polahov picked up by Fantilli along with Krause. Fantilli drops for Krause. That's poked away. And Bear gloves it down for Canada. Lead pass to Glass. Cody Glass works in. Glass bumps it back to Foley. A shot that goes wide. Now knocked down by Krebs in the corner. Centers it to Foley on it. Down it to Foley. There's that back for Bear. Kolyov's lost his stick. In the slot, Rehov has it back down for Kazakhstan. Lifts it high in the air, bouncing puck goes right in the feet of Savitsky, but it skipped away from him. Savitsky back with it. Savitsky tied up by Krebs. Hunt banks it around. Brad Hunt looks across to Krebs. Rachmanov plays that back across. Corner of a long shot that skipped off the top of the crossbar. Inside a minute to go in the first period. Glass lays it in as he goes off on a change. Now play with a steal. Feeds it back to Polino, scores! Play with the start, right on the finish, and it's 4-1 Canada.
It's an easy one for Joe Valeno. Thank you very much, Sammy Blais, on the forecheck. Kazimierov drops it off back. Spatenko, and he gets stripped right at the goal line by Blais. And then he just drops it in front. Valeno gets to walk right in this one. Even worse, Bjorkin went with a poke check on Blais, so he was pulled out of the net. Valeno just drops it in the far side for the fourth goal of the period. Second goal for that line that Andre Tournier likes so much. They opened the scoring early, courtesy Mackenzie Weegar, and they closed the scoring, I think, late in the period.
Joe Valeno from Kirkland, Quebec, Southern Montreal. First round pick of Detroit back in 2018.
It's pretty tight. 4 points already.
Yeah. Centering pass just missed. Romero.
Detroit's waiting on him to take steps, to get a little bit more offensively.
Here comes Lucic on a partial breakaway. And he's got the puck ahead of Valeno again. As time winds down here in the period, Bjorkin's lost his goal stick. So Canada scores 4 times in the opening period. A 4-1 lead on Kazakhstan through 20 minutes here in Riga, the 2023 World Hockey Championship.
Shots on goal in the first period. Team Kazakhstan 6, Team Canada 16. In doubles, score between Team Finland and Team France is 1-1.
Tampere rezultāts spēlēs starp Somiju un Franciju ir 1-1.
have a good game. Good luck, have a good game. Good, keep the sticks on the ice, please. Let's go! What's the print? Good, good, good Milan, good Milan. $67.52. Skate! Stick, stick!
American faced 16 shots in that opening period, allowed 4 goals as Canada has a 4-1 lead. After 20 minutes of play, Canada will take on Switzerland in its next game on Saturday. So 2 days off after this. Then Norway Monday, followed by the Czechs on Tuesday.
3 and 4 to end.
Yes.
After a slowish schedule to start.
Kazakhstan has that overtime win over Norway, or shootout win over Norway, so 2 points there. So has Slovenia left, so Kazakhstan should be fairly safe in the relegation picture if things play out the way they're expected to, which doesn't always happen. But the comebacks by Kazakhstan, down 2-0 and 3-1, and the shootout win, a huge boost for them. McBain slides that back down. Here's Carconi. Now for Mackenzie Weegar. And it skips by Weegar back down the ice as Myers goes back, and icing called against Kazakhstan. Kazakhstan 14th last year, lost 1-goal games to Slovakia, Germany, Switzerland, and France.
They play a lot of close games, which is good. It's unusual for them to get scored 4 on in a period like they were in the first. Credit to Canada. And we talked about before, for Canada, this tournament is really about improvement. Expecting to be better next week than you are this week. And this has probably been their cleanest game so far.
Umerov works it on Joseph. That's knocked away from him. Tyler Myers up ahead for Scott Lawton. Lifts that down to the Kazakh zone. Kazakhstan in its 3rd straight year in the top division. They've been in the top group 8 times at the World Junior. Lead pass, chipped by Joseph into the Kazakh bench.
You know, Joseph is a nice skater. He makes it all look very fluid and effortless.
He and his brother Matthew can both fly.
Absolutely. A nice year in Pittsburgh, full-time, 75 games. And he's still very young, just 23 years old. He's got a bright future ahead of him.
First round pick of Arizona, who went to Pittsburgh in the Phil Kessel trade. Here's Bear with it. Up forward to Foley. To Glass.
Feels a little bit like interference.
Tossed down by Mahamatov. There has not been a penalty called in the game yet.
When one team gets out early like Canada hasn't, can kind of drain the chippiness out of a game where everyone's just kind of playing hard between the whistles but not looking or at the emotional temperature to do anything else.
Fantilli comes in. Knocks Polohoff off the puck. Here's a Rehov with it. That was chopped down by Blay. Miratov. Knocks it back to Polohoff. Mihailo centered it, and that was knocked away by Bear as Mahamatov was alone in front. Miratov fell as he tripped on the puck. Looked like Fantilli tried to chip that down, couldn't reach it. Icing called against Canada.
They got Fantilli playing a lot of different roles here. Now he's up with Sammy Blay and Joey Valeno waiting to come out there. Cody Glass at the end of a shift.
Fantilli already a gold medalist at the World Junior Championship this year for Canada. Had a terrific year at Michigan. I mean, a lot of players go back to the junior when they're tired. You know, it's an emotional experience. It's physically tiring. He just lit it up at Michigan in the second half. Early on shot was blocked. Had a drive this time from Gadamirov, deflected away, and it bounces back to Hofer. He'll hang on to that.
Sammy Blay just blocked that shot off the faceoff. Hit it at the shaft of his stick, but did not break it in half. And instead of just playing with a likely compromised stick, at least he has it in his hands, he leaned on it to check it and broke it in half. Now he's got no stick. So I can almost better at that point. Leave it in your hands, at least you can defend with it.
Yeah.
And then
you've got one more swing with it.
Act as though, it, you know, assume that it's going to break when you try to do something with the puck, but at least defensively it can help you a little bit.
Joseph snaps that pass ahead. It missed Blais. And icing once again called against Canada. This building still buzzing from Latvia's win earlier today over Norway. A 2-1 knee knocker.
They had to hang on right to the last second to finish it off. But they did, and they're clinging to hope. And they may be able to get to a quarterfinal matchup in this building. That would be a rowdy environment.
Kazakhstan had a great tournament here 2 years ago in Riga. They beat Latvia and Finland in shootouts, but they lost to Norway. And that was a really tough loss for them. Just missed out on the quarterfinals. 10th place though that year was their best ever finish in the tournament. Barron has it skip off his stick. Moved ahead by Blais for Barron. Up for Lucic out of his reach. Karjak. For there. So with the old lineup, well, there's a chance there for Denarov. He falls. With the old lineup with three foreigners on the blue line, Denarov was a fourth defenseman. Now he's probably the #1 defenseman for Kazakhstan.
I wonder, you know, if the changing league political climate also drove some of those North American players.
That's part of it. I mean, there were still some guys playing there, but for sure there were fewer than there have been. And we mentioned Kazakhstan bidding for the 2027 World Championship. The fact that the team still played in the KHL this year might work against them. Russia and Belarus remain banned from IIHF competitions. Falcone with it, drops it off to Uyghur. Uyghur throws that towards the goal, kicked away by Baraka. What the drive that goes wide. And there's Barron back with it. Gets in Barron, the Halifax native. Whether Morgan plays for the Winnipeg Jets, took a nasty cut in the playoffs.
Scary one on Morgan there. Right, goalie escape, which you don't almost ever see.
Here's Barron with it. Back to Lawton. Scott Lawton shoots, it goes off his stick. Now Mohamadov. Reha. Down over to Mihalis. He got bumped inside the line. The play is called offside at the Canadian line.
So the pace has probably predictably dropped. That fourth goal late in the first period for Canada has them feeling very comfortable. Just 3 shots in the first 6 minutes of this period combined.
Ahti Oksanen has scored for Finland, up 2-1 now on France in the second period. The Finns are going to be there.
I wouldn't want to play them
near the end, no.
Until the very end, as late as possible.
Navarikov for Savitsky. That's picked off by Toffoli, but now dropped down to Myers. Lead pass to Krebs. Peyton Krebs works in. Good for Fantilli, but the pass went off a skate. And Savitsky, and it's stripped away by Myers. Navarikov. And then taken away. Krebs leaves it there for Toffoli. And Tyler Toffoli goes rink wide for Fantilli. Rachmanov. Up ahead to Musarov. Gets it back around. Lucic ships it out. He finds Valeno with it. Joe Valeno
Oh, yeah.
Wait, move, and he gets upended by Tihanbak.
Clean hip check.
Textbook. Valeno plays that back to Barron. Barron works in, holds and shoots, kicked up by Barkin. Lucic gathers up the rolling puck. Lucic slides it down to Valeno. Joe Valeno. Long wrist shot, Barkin save. Lucic got to it, couldn't get a shot away. Now picked up by Blaine. This line goes back to work. Lucic taps it back to Barron. Barron long wrist shot, and Bayarkin makes the glove stop. 12:59 to go in the second period. Canada, a 4-1 lead. Riga, Canada 4-1 lead on Kazakhstan. Finland leads France 2-1, and Tampere, Finland, where the gold medals will be awarded in 11 days' time, as they were last year. Next year's tournament will be in Prague and Ostrava in Czechia.
It'll be a nice destination.
And although it's done by seeding, the local organizers do have the ability to make one switch, and almost certainly will put Canada in Prague for attendance reasons.
That will probably help recruiting reasons as well for Team Canada. As Andre Tournier's been really taken any opportunity he's been offered to work with Hockey Canada.
Yeah.
And as an assistant last year.
Coached Canada to gold in the 2018 Lincoln Gretzky Cup. Coached Canada the World Junior Championship in 2021. That Canadian team steamrolled its way through its first 6 games before losing to the U.S. in the gold medal game. And Tournier's got 4 members of that team for 2021 here in this tournament. Game back to Uyghur, skipped away from him. Now picked off and brought ahead by Militov, working in, and a penalty coming up to Middleton.
That's gonna go to Uyghur?
I think it's Middleton, but it's a hook, and it is Uyghur.
He came in late with a stick on stick, it looked like. Not doing any complaining. Uyghur throws one in the middle, but right on the stick of Muratov. A little pop into the hands there. Little pop into the hands. Probably didn't even need to. Middleton looked like he was going to get there in the end.
Kazakhstan 2 for 4 on the power play.
Just 4 power plays.
Yeah.
Through 3 games.
Canada has killed off 12 of the 14 opposition power plays it's faced. Canada was shorthanded 7 times against Slovakia.
Slovakia game was great for both teams to the box.
Back to Teyev. Drops up for Mihalis. And Mihalis. For Starchenko. Mihalis feeds that back across. No one there for Kazakhstan. Side of the goal, Mihalis. Back to Rumerov. Mihalis to Rumerov. Mihalis. Starchenko. Back across, back to Teyev. Shoots a tip high. Starchenko. Puts it back around Mihalis. And Canada able to flip that down the ice. Past the midway point of this first power play of the game. Orehov. Moves that back to Muratov. Stolen there by McBain. Jack McBain centers it all alone. Oh, pulled back by Valeno. Not sure he was trying a between-the-legs shot there. Or
he was looking for the Matthew Tkachuk special.
Just rolled off his stick.
Almost going too fast to do it.
Hamatov. Long shot. Eludes Hofer. Here's Joseph on it. 20 seconds ago, this Kazakh power play. Savitsky pokes it back in the corner. Middleton looks back around. Joseph kicks at that. And Jake Middleton pops it up for Valeno. In the final seconds of the Uyghur penalty, Valeno lifts that back down to the Kazakh zone. Shots are 5-1 Canada here in the period. 21-7 in the game.
This is how it's supposed to go for Canada. You're supposed to just not let the opponent breathe. Just forecheck, have the puck all the time. Your goalie should have a light night, which has all been the case for Canada so far. The challenge really is, Gord, is playing 60 minutes this hard.
Right.
Because once the game sort of feels comfortable, human nature has your play drop a little bit.
Krebs picks it up. Peyton Krebs. Pivots back, looks for Glass, shoots, ripped that wide. Brad Hunt. Back down to the Foley, the Hunt. Hunt moves that back to Glass. Across to Barron. Spreads up for Toffoli, back to Barron. Long wrist shot was blocked by Mangas Bayev, who's playing in his second game of this World Championship. In comes Mangas Bayev with some time, shoots off the outside of the goal. Mangas Bayev, another guy for Kazakhstan making his top-level international debut. Justin Adamo has scored for France. 2-2 with Finland. And the Finns are reeling on home ice.
From the French.
Romarag. Back to Denier.
So every time Canada's in a close game, remember scores like that. Every country has moments in this tournament where they place close games against teams that they are supposed to handle comfortably.
The 2014 Canadian Olympic team was dominant. Unbelievably good. Life and death against Latvia in the quarters.
Right.
In a 2-1 game.
Right.
Long pass. Missed Archenko, but he negates the icing. Shoots from a sharp angle. Hofer steers that way. Starchenko. Shestakov with it now. Picked up by Lucic along with Blais. And Fantilli on this line. In comes Adam Fantilli. The pump by Oreja flips that ahead. Mihalis was looking for it, but Joseph streaks back. Mihalis can really scoot.
Don't want to let him sneak in behind you. Fantilli's got to be mindful of what he does at the blue line with the puck there. He's got guys driving with him. Don't want to turn that puck over for a quick counter.
Polahov to Hamatov. Skips down to Hofer, and he'll pounce on that. 7:17 to go here in the second period. Canada leads 4-1.
For your
Joe Valeno has Canada's 4th goal in this game. A 4-1 lead on Kazakhstan.
Joe Valeno's been flying today's game. When I watch him play in the NHL, I don't think of him as being super fast. But it looks like in this game, he's one of the better skaters on the ice, which is great.
First player in the Quebec League to be granted exceptional player status to play as a 15-year-old. That lead pass by Rachmanov.
There's no question that Valeno has the hands, you know, the offensive instincts to be a really good player at the NHL level. But to me, it's really about the pace and the physicality. Not that he has to hit people or fight people, but just checking and dealing with the physical checking in the NHL. He's been very noticeable in a good way for the first 2 periods of this game. Steve Yzerman, who is one of the GMs of this team.
Yeah, part of the management group.
We'll be happy with that.
Carcone shoots. And a sprawling behind back in front. And now picked up by Neighbors. Back for Uyghur. Uyghur shoots, Barrage save, rebound scooped up. Middleton a backhand shot that deflected wide.
Middleton wants in on all his offense. He is poking down there all the time.
Middleton slides that back, gloved down by Neighbors and kept alive. Carcone for Neighbors, in shoots, and Barrage punches that away. Carcone down to McBain, bowls his way to the front of the goal. Now Joseph with it. Bangs that down to Carcone trying to center it. He was tied up. Carcone throws it through again. Neighbors just missed on that. In comes Barron with it now. Justin Barron pivots back. McBain. Left out the corner. Lucic skated by it. Karjan. Moves that down the Canadian's own blade. Drops it off for Barron, who flips it back down to the Kazakh end. Tyler Myers steps up, playing in his 3rd World Championship for Canada.
Only 2 Canadians have played the World Championships before, Tyler Myers and Tyler Toffoli.
Lucic across to Myers working in.
Ouch. Who did that get?
Myers back on it. I think that hit DeHaan back. He's laboring a little bit. Hunt back to Valeno. He shoots and skips back in front. Picked up by Butenko, trying to play that back out. And it finally skipped to center ice. 5 to go in the 2nd period. Myers moves in. Tyler Myers holds and shoots. It's on the goal line. Just stayed out.
Did Butenko grab that with his hand after it went over the shoulder of Boyarkin? Just scraped it off the line.
Valeno to Myers. In comes Hunt with it. Hunt bumped down by Oreja. Hunt with a steal. Keeps that rolling puck alive for Krebs. Drops it back, but it's out of the reach of Bear. Glass winds his way in. Marco Entala, the legendary Finn, has scored to restore their lead to 3-2. Unusual for him to score before the medal round. Love by Boyarkin, 4:04 to go. In a 4-1 Canadian lead in the 2nd.
Here in the audience, and we have a special man. What is your name? Ali is going to play the puck game. There are going to be 3 pucks on the screen. 1 with spiking, 2 pucks without spiking. Ali will have to say which puck is with spiking. Let's look at the pucks. Find the puck. So spiking's in the middle, and let's follow.
see some Slovak fans among the Canadians. There's lots of Slovaks and Czechs here. Swiss fans as well, and Evans, Czechs. Ethan Bear shoots. I'm going to mention the Czechs twice there.
There's about twice as many of Czech fans there as any other non-Latvian team here. They've been out in full force.
And they'll come streaming in on the weekend again. It's a long weekend in much of Europe. As Toffoli plays it across, it's offside at the Kazakh line.
So we were wondering how this Tyler Myers shot did not end up in the back of the net. He puts it off the shoulder of Boyarkin. Watch Butenko reach over top, gets it, but that's not it. Boyarkin feels it on his back and dives back with his blocker to take it away from Sammy Blake. Great look at it here. Just be able to track a puck that you can't see. Boyarkin with the wrong side of his blocker hand, able to keep it off the goal line. Tyler Myers watching it on the scoreboard.
Born in Houston, Texas, when his dad was working there. Family was down there, but Calgary's his hometown. Played for Canada in the famous '09 World Junior when Canada won its 5th straight gold medal. Jordan Eberle, the famous tying goal in the semifinal against Russia with 5 seconds to go.
Still can't believe it.
Joseph goes back. Lead pass to Krause. Myers was first-round pick of Buffalo in '08.
Calder Trophy winner, way back
2010, yeah. In comes Neighbors, shoots, just missed short side. Now in his 14th NHL season. Myers is taking more of his share of hits for his play and discussions. As Hunt moves it and shoots, Boyarkin kicks that out. There are analytics darlings in the NHL, and then there are analytics outcasts.
Right. Rasmus Ristolainen.
Yes. Neighbors shoots, that's blocked.
Tyler Myers is on the outcast end of the spectrum when it comes to analytics and the way they evaluate the way he plays. So it's all part of the new age of player evaluation. You know, there's the old school, the eye test, the traditional stats, the advanced stats and analytics, and they put them all in a big bundle, and organizations kind of weight each of those components differently.
Yep.
Now, make no mistake, every organization looks at all of those things.
Yep. Absolutely.
And just some, they put a little bit more stock in analytics than others. To be fair, Carolina is in the Final Four there. They're heavy in that regard. Seem to find pretty good value players around the league.
Yeah.
The other real interesting one is the way teams start evaluating goaltenders, the value of that.
Right, and you know, one of the biggest things that was revealed early on in the analytics era was, you know, back-to-back games, and the drop in save percentage in the second half of back-to-back. So goalies playing in back-to-backs now almost unheard of.
Even here, where they don't have to move.
Lucic pokes at it. So Glenn Hall's record of 505 games in a row is
pretty safe.
Very safe, yeah. Blaine plays that back to Bear for Lucic. That shot goes off a leg. Now Bear looking for a stick of Valeno. We tip that wide.
1 minute left in the second period.
That pass broken up by Toffoli. In for Lucic. Back around to Toffoli. Toffoli glass with a quick shot. Boyarkin got a piece of that. Here's Toffoli. The captain fires. That goes high. Bear back with it. Glass. Fantilli trying to feed that across. It's broken up, and the puck back to center ice. Mihalis with a steal on that. Moves it ahead. Joseph took it right back. Here's Glass with it. Time winding down in the period. Cody Glass moves in. Trying to center it. Now Foley throws it back in front. The time winds down here in the period. Koryov comes in, will get a shot away, and Canada goes to the dressing room with a 4-1 lead on Kazakhstan, looking to run its record to 4-0 at the 2023 World Hockey Championship.
Rezultāts pēc otrās trešdaļas. Kanāda 4, Kazahstāna 1.
Shots on goal in the second period. Team Kazakhstan 3, Team Canada 15.
Metiena vārtiem otrajā trešdaļā. Kazahstāna 3, Kanāda 15.
In the first score between Team Finland and Team France is 3-2.
Tamperē rezultāts spēlē starp Somiju un Franciju ir 3-2.
Старый не поверил в меня, да ты? Она какая-то странная пошла, да. Я думал, он все ее перехватывает. Там коридор был, я думал, да, нет, здорово.
two pucks without spiking. Ali will have to say, which puck is with spiking? Let's look at the, where is the puck? Is it to the left, in the middle, or to the right?
Rezultāts pēc otrās trešdaļas. Kanāda 4, Kazahstāna 1.
Shots on goal in the second.
Good. No! No!
Lawson Krause has a couple. Canada's got a 4-1 lead after 2 periods of play on Kazakhstan, a team that's never beaten Canada at the World Championship.
It's been a workman-like game for Canada, doing what they have to do. Shooting Kazakhstan badly, controlling pace of play.
Right.
So Hofer hasn't had to do much. The one that got by him wasn't a great chance against. Rebecca Tayev. Grinding along, trying to learn a little bit more about the team and the players and knock another game off before they get to the weekend.
Kazakhstan plays Slovenia in its last game on Monday. If the Kazakhs don't record a win between now and then, they've got Slovak and Latvia before that. The
game will matter.
Yeah.
White first. White.
That would be one where Slovenia, if they win in regulation, would jump over top ahead of Kazakhstan.
Yeah. Relegation, a bitter pill for his country to swallow. Forces you to go back to Division 1A. Next year, Great Britain and Poland are coming up. Sarchenko drops that back to Shestakov. Couldn't get a shot away. And here is Uyghur with it. Lead pass to Krause. Tayev took that away. And Tampere, Finland a 3-2 lead on France to start the 3rd period. Speaking of potential future World Championship hosts, there's talk that in the vote is next year for the 28th World Championship, a joint Paris-Great Britain bid.
Potentially London.
Well, we've heard that.
Potentially.
Also heard Nottingham, but
how far away from London is Nottingham?
That's Robin Hood.
A lot of forests.
But on horseback, it's probably a day, but the sheriff will know.
Let's get Shane Knighty on the phone.
Here's Valeno with it. Spins and shoots. Boyarkin knocks that away. This is pretty common for teams in the World Championship to do this. Boyarkin, their backup, will play in the games that they have less of an expectation to win. They'll save their guy shoots off for the games that they're thinking of a chance. Playing it across. Hofer. Good stop there by Mihalis. Lucic feeds it in front. Valeno with a chance. Rebound. Score. Sammy Blais with a tap in, and it's 5-1.
This line keeps on chugging. And think about it, that's a Hofer save at one end.
Yeah.
Would have been 4-2. Game gets more interesting. He makes a big stop, and then the best line for Canada in this game. Valeno, Lucic, and Blais go to work. That's his 3rd point of the night for Blais. And good job by Lucic keeping this one alive. Getting it across for Valeno. Sammy Blais, good habit, stops at the top of the crease, has the rebound from Valeno's shot, hit him in the chest, and able to sweep it in to make it 5-1.
So a very wise coach once said, never number your lines, because some nights your 4th line might be your 1st line.
Okay. You can say that all you want. Players know who's the 1st line and who's the 4th.
Just watch them take the warm-up. When the line rushes the warm-up, you know who goes first.
Now, on this team, we can have that conversation because they all kind of play similar.
Neighbors trying to thread that back in front. Carconi with it. Back to Uyghur. Shoots. That goes wide.
Which line has the guys who play the power play?
But that's
generally a good indicator.
Uyghur back across to Middleton. Shoots. Boyarkin gloves that.
It's funny, with all the different looks that Andre Tournier has gone to for Canada, the one constant has been Lucic, Valeno, and Blais.
They've not moved.
And there's almost something bonding for 3 players who may not know each other in that. Like, everyone else is shuffling the deck, but we're good, and let's play well enough together to stay good. And they certainly have done that tonight. They have, right from the get-go, simple forechecking straight line hockey, and then some good plays in and around the net.
Middleton drops it off to Quinn with a long shot that deflects wide. That goes off the stick, over the glass and out.
And Bekatayev's got the 1 goal for Kazakhstan. Will feel good. It's always a memory to score against Canada. He also, I don't think, has gotten a penalty tonight, which is something that he has had.
Yeah, that's been an issue for him.
Virtually every game. Canada has not had a power play tonight, so much for the thought that their power play, which does need work.
This has not turned into a live fire exercise.
Would get work. They have got nothing in this game, which is, they would prefer to get a couple looks. Next game's against Switzerland. That is going to be, Switzerland's looked like the best team in this group so far.
And it's going to get better with the addition of Nico Hischier and Jonas Siegenthaler. Kevin Fiala was added. Yeah, Kevin Fiala was added last night for their game and was jumping right out of the gate.
He was dancing. Switzerland plays Slovakia tomorrow, and Hischier and Siegenthaler are supposed to join the lineup.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Steal by Lawton, drops it back to Kraus with a shot and ramps off the stick of Shestakov and high.
Looking for a hat trick.
Here will be Joseph shoots, tipped just wide by Quinn. Samatinia. Part of the Kazakh group that won Division 1A gold at the World Junior level in 2018 to get promotion to the top level of the World Junior Championship. Amitov. Went wide to Mihalis. Tried to dance around Bear, but Bear knocked him off stride. And Fantilli, a crisp pass to Bear. Back to Fantilli in stride. Adam Fantilli. Across to Cody Glass. Walks right in and shoots. And Mallorca to stop on that.
Seas parted for Glass. All kinds of space.
He looked up and didn't see anyone. Amitov is taken away by Fantilli. Portofoli. Rink wide to Fantilli. Adam Fantilli moves in. He's poke check. And now Fantilli back on it. That plays offside at the Kazakh line.
Sammy Blay, good night for him. Opening shift creates an opportunity for Mackenzie Weegar. He snaps it home. And these are primary assists. Like good work that leads right to the much easier finish than the actual work that goes into it. And then one more for good measure. Grabs an assist on the most recent goal. And he didn't do a ton of scoring this year. Just no goals and 5 assists for the Rangers in 40 games. And he goes back to St. Louis. All of a sudden, boom, here's the guy. 9 goals, 20 points in 30 games.
Suffered that horrible knee injury the year before, early in the year in a collision with PK Subban.
Yeah, so maybe coming back this year is a little bit of an adjustment early.
He missed the whole rest of the year with a bad ACL tear, so. Well, there's something to St. Louis. David Perron.
Yeah. We like the home cooking in St. Louis.
Yeah. You play with Radim Verbata.
Radim Verbata.
In Arizona.
In Arizona. Very good offensive player. Elsewhere, not as good an offensive player. So maybe Sammy Blay likes St. Louis. St. Louis happy to have him back. Still relatively young, 26 years old.
Yeah. St. Louis, building around a young core now with Robert Thomas and Jordan Kyrou.
Jake Neighbors here, playing for Canada. So they're trying to transition younger while also staying playoff competitive.
Right.
That's very hard to do, especially after having won a cup.
Karajan works in and shoots, bounces off a leg, still loose in front. And Magnus Bayham couldn't reach that. Picked back up, that shot trickles down from Musarov. And Hofer makes the glove save. And Joel Hofer, also in the St. Louis systems, but most of this year in Springfield of the American League.
Biding his time. Bington's going to be around for a little while longer in St. Louis, but angling to become the backup.
He was a 4th round pick of the Blues in 2018.
The key is when you're developing, you're as young as Hofer is 22 years old. They want him in the minors. They want him playing lots of games.
Right. There's no point in having him sitting on the bench in a ball cap for 55 games.
Now, if you're asked the players say, I'll take the charters, the hotels, and the ball cap.
And the salary.
And the salary. But long term, better to be down and playing.
Ramirez slides that ahead. Shestakov feeds that back to Starchenko. Poked away by Quinn. And Denayer took that away. Shestakov plays that back to Bekateev. 6 gone here in the third period. Canada comfortable 5-1 lead. Canada will wrap up the round robin next Tuesday against Czechia.
Yeah, it gets interesting down the stretch. They stagger the schedule so that the last couple days are likely to determine seedings.
Kazakhstan is not playing Slovenia by accident on the Monday. Picked up by Tofola and stolen back by Mihalis. Poked away by Uyghur. And Hoffer pokes that away. Canada completely changes. Uyghur spins back. Got a goal and assist in this game 5 minutes in. Valeno shoots. It goes off a leg and wide. Picked up by Pierre-Olivier Joseph. Brings that back around. Lucic on the forecheck. Lega dumped there by Kadamerov. Joseph up for Lucic. And this line goes back to work. Lucic brings it back around. Barron on it. Barron floats that down to Blaine. And Blaine with some support from Valeno. Kicks that free. At the point, Barron. Across he goes to Joseph. Touch pass to Lucic. Back for Joseph jumping in. Joseph. Back to Lucic. Goes up towards the goal. Tipped there by Blaine. It goes wide. You don't often see Lucic out there.
Well, he's playing with these young guys. Exploring the top side of the offensive zone. Problem is if you turn it over there, it's a foot race to get back. And that's not what Milan Lucic wants to do. But that's where the offensive game is played now, in the offensive zone. There's 3 across the blue line.
Hunt for Carconi. And Carconi works in. Around he goes for Krebs. Back to Bear to Hunt. Shoots. And that's knocked down by Butenko. Krebs. Back across to Bear. Neighbors. Krebs. Back in for Neighbors. There's Hunt with a long shot. Hit the skate in front. Kept alive by Krebs. Now Carconi tries to flip it on goal. And Butenko takes it away. Hunt steals that away.
Another offensive zone shift. Grinding it out. Asking your goaltender to do very much, which is exactly how you want to play. 37-12 right now with shots in favor of Canada.
Shestakov pokes that down.
Yeah, Ofer wants to get out there and get involved. Get a touch.
That long shot goes off the leg of Quinn. Krause feeds it ahead for Lawton. The pass deflected away by Bekateev. Lawton lost the puck to Shestakov. Held by Krause, feeds it back in front. Quinn has Boyarkin down, but he falls.
He was thinking pull it and then get below the goal line and pull it back in. And he just kind of toe-picked. You can see what he was thinking. Boyarkin comes flying out of the net. It would have worked had he kept his feet.
Polaha. Mohamadov plays it back around. Here's Barrett to Fantilli. Polaha. And Polaha dives for that, but the puck goes into the Canadian bench with Canada leading 5-1, 9:56 to go in the third.
Prepare your voices, open your eyes, and look at the screen because it's karaoke time!
Slovaks in together.
Everyone's having fun. Except for Nikita Boyarkin.
They played a terrific game on Monday, Canada-Slovakia. 2-1 shootout win for Canada. Bekov taps that back. Korolyov, bat up by Blais. And flip back down to the Canadian zone. A tap back in front. Hope for the stop there on Savitsky. Cleared up by Lucic. And Blais lifts it back ahead for Veleno. Joe Veleno. For Lucic, he was put down by Lieutenant as they took skates. Centering pass by Krebs, just missed McBain. That was Bayan. Throws that back in front, picked off by McBain for Neighbors.
Not a lot of big hits happened there, but that was a spot in the ice where you could get lit up.
Arjan works in, being defended there by Hunt. Hunt around the Bear. Up the ladder for Krebs, along with Neighbors and McBain. Jack McBain chips that ahead. Uyghur goes after it. Slides that down to Krebs. Krebs back to Neighbors, shoots. That's gloved by Boyarkin. 8:13 to go in the third period. You're watching Day 6 of the 2023 World Hockey Championship. 2 more games here tomorrow. Czechia will play Slovenia in the first game. Switzerland, Slovakia in the second will be interesting. In Temple tomorrow, Hungary plays Sweden, and Denmark faces Germany.
That Denmark-Germany game is actually interesting because that's...
The Danes have played well so far.
The battle for fourth spot in that division is likely between those two teams. Now, Germany's played all the tough teams. They've played US, Sweden, Finland, so they've not looked good yet.
Strength of schedule is a major component here in a condensed tournament.
What's going on with Germany? They have no points after 3 games. Well, tomorrow is the game. Although with France playing so well, you can't write them off surprising something.
At the bottom of the ledger, no matter what, the relegation tends to come down to the final couple of days. Glass moves out with Quinn and Fantilli. Cody Glass streaks in, drops it off. Jack Quinn works it in, shoots, and Boyarkin got a piece of that. Quinn banks that back for Joseph. And Mihalis takes that away. In comes Mihalis. Works back in. Rembrandt, try Hoper save, rebound. Puck still pinballing around. Great stop there on Mahometov. To Foley. Brings that back down to Fantilli. And Fantilli works that back. Orehov for Mihalis. Mihalis for Orehov. Drops it back for Mihalis. Winds in, feeds it across. And that time, Muratov couldn't get good contact with it. Orehov. Back in for Mihalis. Lucic with it, along with Toffoli, 2-on-1. Milan Lucic works in, drops to the trainer Valeno, shoots, that took the defender stick out of his hands. Korolyov, and now picked back up by Muratov. Uyghur banks it back around for Valeno. Lucic, one Middleton. Lucic back with it. For Uyghur. He let them shoot that ramp wide. Here's Uyghur with it. High in the air, and it bounces at center ice. Scooped up by Jake Middleton, native of Stratford, Ontario. Carconi up with it. The handback. There's rink wide for Shestakov. 5 to go here in the third period. Here, Olivier Joseph. Up for Carconi. Butenko. Moved ahead. Butenko takes the return pass, lines that towards the goal, and Hofer will eat that up. There's 4:37 to go in the third period. Canada's got a 5-1 lead on Kazakhstan. Mihalis playing in the World Championship for the third time for Kazakhstan. He's been an offensive catalyst for them. His dad was the coach last couple of years for the Kazakh national team. Back in. Got it back up by Bear. Here's Quinn with it. For Lott. The pass goes off the leg and skips back down to the Canadian zone. Charles Bertrand scored for France, down 4-3 here in the third period in Tampere against Finland. 3:45 to go in the third period here. Bakatea. Knocked down by Lawton. Joseph lead pass to Fantilli. In comes Fantilli with a shot, and Boyarka got the glove on that. Fantilli back with it. Banks that back to Barron with a long shot. That deflected wide. From the point, Barron shot again, deflects away. Fantilli got it back up. Sent it to Foley, hammered that shot and just missed. From 25 feet, just teed that up.
Got all of that one. He's still looking for his first tournament. And Nikita Mihalis has been dancing around and almost gets Hofer on the wraparound off the far leg, then a rebound from Muratov. Karam's off his inside ankle. Not exactly textbook form there from Hofer, but finds a way to keep the puck out of the net. Nice that all three goaltenders have gotten to play.
Everyone's been in the lineup now.
So now I imagine Montembeault will get three more games. He'll get Switzerland and Czechia for sure.
Canada's got Norway on the Monday. That could be Devin Levi's. Glass walks right in, feeds it across, trying to find Toffoli. That pass missed.
They are force-feeding the captain right now, trying to get him one.
Toffoli falls, looks back for Glass. Lucic moves that rink wide. Toffoli 3 assists in the first 3 games for Canada. Now Blais with a steal with Lucic. Blais walks in for Lucic. That goes off the skate of Oreja. Knocked down again by Blais. The puck is just stuck to him today.
It is like a magnet. There's just some games, probably because you're skating really well, but it just seems like, oh, this is easy. It just keeps coming to me.
Off the puck by Krebs. Muratov. Goes down to Mahamatov. Korolyov plays it back in. Jake Middleton. Winds back in. Krebs. Spins that back to Hunt. Bear plays it back in with 90 seconds to go in the period. Savitsky ricks it on Bear, and Bear strips that away. Now Butenko comes in, throws in the high slot. That shot fired wide by Omer Bekov. McBain, rink wide feed for Carcone, gets a step, moves in, trying to slide that back across, and Neighbors missed on that. Now McBain falls. Omer Bekov to Butenko. Through the middle, walking in was Rachmanov, shoots! Tipped wide by the Hunback.
Oh, so it's pick up pond hockey the last 2
river
minutes.
hockey out here. Pass just missed Rachmanov. Pass misfire for Neighbors, an icing call with 25.8 seconds left in the 3rd period.
Kazakhstan keeps on pushing. They get some chances here. Sauce over to Omer Bekov. Oh, sorry, Hanbeck trying to chip it in, just missed it. Cody Glass is trying to pass it. He could have shot it at any time, but a good stick. Polohoff takes it away, touch away. One more, here's Omer Bekov. Gets it off Ethan Bear stick. All these chances, and none of them get to the net.
A point shot, gloved by Hofer. He'll hang on to that.
So another game done for Canada. Check it off the list.
That'll be 4-0, 1 point left on the table because the win over Slovakia was in a shootout.
So 11 of a possible 12.
Right.
The next one will be a great test. Switzerland will be a greater barometer of where the team's at.
Canada scored 4 times in the first period. Twice in the first 5 minutes and 5 seconds, and wins it by a final score of 5-1 over Kazakhstan to improve its record to 4-0 at this World Championship. Kazakhstan now 1-3.
Good game for Canada. You know, they're not always easy ones to attack, but they came out right from the very first shift. That line, Veleno, Lucic, Blais set the tone. Everyone else followed in line. Offense flowed from there, and it was a relatively comfortable evening for Andre Tourigny. What you like in this tournament? Those are few and far between.
And there'll be fewer ahead.
Sammy Blais would have a good claim to this player of the game.
Yeah, it's chosen by the Canadian management group, so Mackenzie Weegar, another good night. He's already had one. They try to spread it around a little bit.
Right. You don't want to, you can't give it to goaltenders every time because they qualify for lots of them. it's nice for the coach, Andre Tourigny, to have, you know, a trio that he can rely on. He's not going to have to tinker with.
Katras komandas labākais spēlētājs saņems balvu no 2023. gada Startautiskās hokeja federācijas pasaules čempionāta oficiālā sponsora Bank International.
The prizes will be presented by Florian Mayer, IIHF event manager, and Alexei Mamonto, executive director of the Kazakhstan Ice Hockey Federation.
Balvas pasniegs Florians Maiers, Startautiskās hokeja federācijas pasākumu vadītājs, un Alekseis Mamontovs, Kazahstānas hokeja federācijas izpilddirektors.
The best player of Team Kazakhstan.
Labākais spēlētājs Kazahstānas komandā.
Number 87.
Numur 87.
Adil Mikitayev.
He had the goal for Kazakhstan.
Plays hard every game.
Yeah.
The best player of Team Canada.
Labākais spēlētājs Kanādas komandā.
Number 67.
Numur 67.
Scored a couple of goals at Lawson Krause.
Dear all, please rise if you are able to for the national anthem of Canada.
Dāmas un kungi, lūdzu visi, kur var, piecelieties, lai godinātu Kanādas valsts himnu.
Tough game against one of the top teams at the tournament here. What did you think of the performance by your club?
Yeah, really tough game. Like I said before, Canada is a good opponent. I mean, we have a lot to learn. You know, we got to be better and faster. Yeah, it's a good opportunity still. You know, this game like this against Canada, it's good. It's huge for us, and we just have to get better at everything.
Your goaltender's first start here at this tournament. Thoughts on his performance?
Oh, he played really well. If not him, the score would have been much bigger. It's not 5-1, 1-5, but it would have been bigger. Thanks to him. We got to help him out more though. Got to be better for just more help. Okay.
How will the team grow from this game against Canada? What experience will you take from this?
Это, конечно, отличная игра для нас. Канада очень сильный соперник, практически там весь состав НХЛ. И большой опыт для нас. Нам надо быть лучше. Столько болельщиков здесь приходят, поддерживают. Бьемся, стараемся, но будем еще лучше. Важные игры впереди. Каждая игра важная, но важные игры еще впереди. И надо быть только лучше, и выигрывать, набирать очки. Всем спасибо за поддержку. Мы это чувствуем. Мы очень хорошо поддерживаете нас. Спасибо большое. Мы будем биться за вас. Thank you.
Joel, first of all, congratulations on the win. The last time you wore this jersey, you won gold at the World Juniors. What was it like being back in and on the ice with this team?
Yeah, it's great. Anytime you obviously get to wear this jersey, it's super special, and it's obviously great to be back and in Lafayette here and seeing all the guys again. So it's great.
As far as the team goes, it seems like you guys are gelling nicely. Do you feel like you guys are actually hitting your stride now?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I think every game we've gotten better and, just building up to the medal round. So, just got to keep going and, go one game at a time.
As a goaltender, you get to play in front of a lot of great defensemen, but what is it like having Mackenzie Weegar playing in front of you?
Yeah, he's been great. I mean, obviously a big rock back there for us, and, he's been unbelievable, just like the rest of us. So, they've made my job pretty easy out back there.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks, guys.
Congrats. We'll see you around.
Yeah, Monty. I haven't seen it.
Should have went on the back.